Sumbalani said in Matata Jindi, Dangwandi Angela Tinsanita, Sumba Yageta, sorry, Tombang, Dangwamban said you are, did it down.
So that explaining the abandonments of the object of meditation, path of seeing and path of meditation.
To someone you sheba, Mari Paja Sheba, Tomon Goma Sheba, said the Yagi. Come to Jiggy, Kasa Khan and Juba, said the Maro, that's it.
So,
and the Kajuva is, you are to Sunji Palan, Unju Sheba, Mari Paja Sheba, Tomana Goma Sheba, Madabada Tabi Saladamba Sheba, said that did Tomana Goma Sheba, said
so, in explaining the definition, the definition of the obscuring phenomena. We have the three poisons, dormant and manifest, the ground of predisposition of ignorance, and path of seeing and path of meditation, abandonments and defilements found in the impure and pure levels.
Oh, that Tambutella, because of Sumbala,
So on the third of these 4 points, and this is presented by way of the general explanation and explanation of the different divisions.
And the debuggy tenny, Gibatan, the debuggy tenny da, Tenshi, and the Tomana Gomagi Cheba, and the Sabin Bonzo, Sabinji Chosam Shabata, Sabin Bonzo Chosam Shabata, Tom Shishi Cheratu Shaba, Senata, Sajan Arjidu.
So the general explanation has these 5 parts: definition of the 2 types of obscurations, examples of the 2 types of obscurations, the differences between the path of seeing and path of meditation abandonments, and the brief explanation of how these seeds are destroyed or abandoned, and specific explanation of knowledge and forbearance on the path of seeing.
Oh, yeah, that humble. And I said, Japan, Tenny, Sirikana, Japan, Tenny, Candidate, that Tabata Tajabala Patuchi said, there, no more be to be Tenny Tabatan Tamja Chamber Tabala Patuchi, no more be to be Tenny Tabatan Tamja Chamber, Nisu Chivi, Tabata Tamja Chamber, Nisu Chivi. Tabatobala, Riba Chibi, Risu Neva. Nyanjibi, any Risu Nevadi, Nyamong,
So, the definition of the 2 types of obscurations, the obscurations that obstruct the attainment of liberation and enlightenment. So, those afflictions of afflicted obscurations, those are obscurations that are on the side of the afflictions that obstruct the attainment of nirvana or liberation. Is the definition for the afflicted obscurations. And then the definition for the obscuration to knowledge, then of the 2 obstructions, obstruction to attaining enlightenment, liberation, enlightenment, those obstructions that obstruct the attainment of enlightenment are defined as obscurations to knowledge.
Yana Dusina Digo Lela Chasana, so Taba Tobala Paduchi. Any Ninja down. So Tanja Chamba Tobala Paduchi Tribulation was Nigala Dusana Tigare.
Or you can simplify it and say what those obstructions that principally obstruct the attainment of liberation, that are on the side of or obstructing the attainment of liberation. Those are defined as being afflicted obscuration of afflictions, and then those obstructions that principally obstruct the attainment of enlightenment, those obstructions that are on the side of principally obstructing the attainment of enlightenment, those being the obscuration to knowledge, definition for the obscuration to knowledge. So you can say you can say obscuration to a phenomena, obscuration to phenomena, because they obscure the direct insight into knowing phenomena exactly for what they are. In equipoise, and obstruct us from knowing a phenomena exactly for what they are, and also obstructing us from knowing the varieties of phenomena, every phenomena, all the varieties of phenomena, obstructing us from in equipoise, then not being able to know the varieties of phenomena. So those are like the obscurations to phenomena.
Ani nyemo me dribala semji rabki mashiwa she be twenty karere sana dojo semji ji rabdu shiwa de semji rabdu shiwa de shiwani kola nyangalen kowi dunga nyawa shibe tawa nyande zamme res nyande tobji zaba semji rabdu shiwa res semji rabdu mashiwa ni kowi dunga la kowi dunga res te cheba bola kowi dunga cheba bode kare nyemo betuba ses ani sheshala.
So I'll just read from the commentary of the previous one. Obscurations to phenomena are in the category of obscurations that hinder the attainment of omniscience. The latter hinder the attainment of a meditative absorption, constantly focused until the end of samsara on phenomena as they truly are. That is also the attainment of the direct perception of all conventional phenomena. Therefore, these obscurations, known as obscurations to phenomena, or obscurations to phenomena, or obscurations of phenomena. So, and then the definition for obscuration of afflictions, is that undisturbed, unsubdued state of our mental continuum. Disturbed, unsubdued state of a mental continuum is the obscuration of affliction. When one attains nirvana, then that mental state is at peace, in a peaceful state, without that kind of disturbed, unsubdued state. Obscurations of afflictions have been described as being states of mind that make the mental continuum unpeaceful. What does this mean? The opposite of this description, the mental continuum is a very peaceful state, refers to nirvana, which is the mere liberation from the complete pacification of the sufferings of samsara. So, and so what makes for this unpeaceful mind state, unpeaceful mental continuum is the sufferings of samsaric existence, and what creates this is the karma and the afflictions. So you have the true suffering and the true origin, and therefore the mental continuum in an unpeaceful state refers to the sufferings of samsara. The creators of those sufferings are known as afflictions or obscurations of afflictions, and the creator of nirvana is the true path.
Oh yeah, that's Rabdu Shiva, Koyu Dunga Nyawa Shiva, Taba Nyande, Tamdi Nyande, Dunga Demba Kasa Kwatenche. Nyande Toba Chebi, Tobje Lamdi, Lamji Demba, into Shivacha.
So, a mental continuum that is extremely peaceful is liberation, like a true cessation. And then the path which enables the attainment of this, extremely peaceful state is the true path.
That is the Banji Cheni di Chinsani, the Banji Cheshung Sundi Zamba, the Banji Cheni, Cheshung Sumadela, that Numobi Jibani, Kasada Pumbo Demba Zimbi. Law, you want to Maribatang. Casada Pomba Demba Zibitin, you want to Maribatang.
So,
take it, Deja La Sova, Mungu, Sabana Javati, then you will be to Bades.
So, this completes the defining characteristics of the two types of obscurations, and now examples of the two types of obscurations. We can say, the grasping, the grasping at the self of a person, the grasping at grasping at the truly existent self of a person, the grasping at the truly existent aggregates. This afflicted ignorance, and from this arises in the manifest form of desire and attachment, together with the seeds, are all examples of obscuration of afflictions. Obscuration of afflictions refers to afflicted ignorance, which is a mind that holds to the true existence of a person and the aggregates, and to the manifest desire and so forth created by that ignorance, together with the seeds of these afflictions.
Then, Kasada Pumba Demba Tibi, Lonimonte, Maripata Sekana, Ranjibula, Kasa Pumba Demba Tibi, Lode, you want to see to check, you want to Maripa Mahimba check. That Tanjula, Kasada Demba, moving Nazola, Kasada Pumba Demba Tibi, Lode, you want to Maripa Sekana, Maripa Segade, Denzing Tamla Maripa Shaba. La Maripa, some junior Gomari, or Manjala said some junior Gomari. And the
Pumbo Dembaziba, the Shidip Susha.
Oh, Ranjuba in the Pumbo Denzilla, Shidip check. And it Denzim Mariba Telayang, Pumbo Demba Temple Casa, Mariba Telayang, or Mariba said, some junior Gomari. Ranju will from Pumba Tabati within the Maripa, you might Maripa Mare, that lead to let you might Maripa check. Ranju will let you do check.
So, in the Swatantra Madhyamik system, then, grasping onto these aggregates as truly existent is categorized as an obscuration to knowledge, and in this system, then it has in this system. Then it is a form of a grasping at true existence, which is categorized as ignorance, as a secondary mental factor. So as for examples of obscuration to knowledge or obscuration to phenomena, then what that is the appearance of true existence, the object being truly existent, or appearance of true existence, or duality, are all manifest forms of the obscuration to phenomena or obscuration to knowledge. So the conventional mode of knowing of all sentient beings, that is all what you call mistaken appearances, are all manifest forms of this obscuration to phenomena, obscuration to knowledge. So what generates this obscuration to phenomena or knowledge, this mistaken appearance or dual appearance, what generates this is the imprints, predispositions of ignorance. The obscuration to phenomena refers to the appearance of objects in their mistaken aspect of appearing to truly exist, and to the instincts of afflictions which create such appearances. And the arhants, the hero and solitary realizer arhants, and as well as the bodhisattvas, the Arya bodhisattvas on the pure levels. On the pure levels, they are the ones who attain the state of having totally eradicated the obscuration of afflictions, which the freedom, total freedom from this, and this consists of the true path and the true cessation.
Tatini Sajabana Tolas. Tatanda Kasore Ninan Trubi Chadan Tekibaki Shiripang and the Kawari and Sajabana Banguwa in the Shiripang Namdroni, Sanja Bashiko, Sanja Bashilaman Yamare.
So the freedom in which in which the obscuration to phenomena, obscuration to knowledge or omniscience, where this has been abandoned, is only in the state of Buddhahood. Where you have abandoned the view of duality of this obscuration to phenomena, and that abandonment is accomplished only in the state of Buddhahood.
That's in it. Tomada Gomangi cheba de la Sumbani Tomana Goman de la Yang Mungu Wachidang Sabang Chani Yongwari Toman de la
The freedom that is the total abandonment of obscuration of afflictions is attained by the Arhat and from the 8th Bodhisattva level onwards. The freedom that is the total abandonment of obscurations to phenomena is, is only found in the Buddha. Then, again, distinguishing the abandonments of the path of seeing and path of meditation. Again, with that also you have the manifest kind and that are regarded as seeds.
So
The with regards to abandonments on the path of seeing, the examples for that are the subtle obscurations of affliction, the bodhisattvas, subtle levels of the afflicted obscuration of afflictions.
Ripatanandang, Chuptangambaki, Ani Rangi, Samji Lebi Topji. Ani Kasada Pumbo Damba Truva Te Yamdo, Tachi to Zingandela, Tachi to Zimbate, and Tanyamba, Te, Dinzukundache, Petiji Sabendang, Jawad, Te, Dictare, Rawa Dinzukunda, Tomakunda.
And the first is the imputed grasping at true existence, grasping at the truly existent self of a person or truly existent aggregates of the person, and acquiring this kind of mode of grasping at the true existence through some intellectual medium. So like an intellectually acquired grasping, grasping at the true existence self of a person and the aggregates. So these are regarded as imputed grasping at true existence. So this and a seed is one category.
Pumboda Tani Mudimba, Ranjawa Timba, Gundata. Kasa Tachi Rawan, Tabatan, Chipotan, Rawan to Timbatan. Young Kasa Taba Timbe, Tansi Gunda, Tuzokanga, that Tombangina Dugua, that dinner was made Chawatimarimanto.
So here, although what is expressly denoted here is the subtle kind, but included within this is also the grasping at the grasping at a person that is permanent, single entity, independent, the permanent self of self of a person, I guess. These gross forms are also included within what are classified as objects of abandonment of the path of seeing.
What Gunda Chacha? That day, Pongan de Tonam Kiponguari, what Tendawadi, Damba Trua, Cat in the Pongan Trua Gunda de Ponga de Tonam Chat. That wasn't that day, Damba Trua Jabba Shuba Mayimba. Ani Chupta Loga Choma, Tamjela, Tendra Tinjela, Nam Shushuki. Damba Truva Timbatera Java, Truma to Java Mashu Wangi, and a Damba Truva Sabana Java. Whether Truma to Java Shu Wangi Tambi, Damba Truva Sabana Java, the Gunda chat. Rawa, the Junga Shuat, Rawa. That's one.
So just read from the thing. Merely thinking that the self and the aggregates truly exist together with the seeds of such a thought, and thinking that the self and the aggregates truly exist as a result of an investigation into whether they truly exist or not, together with the seeds of such a thought, are both mentally constructed obscurations of affliction, like they imputed, that will be destroyed by the path of seeing. So desire and other afflictions are also brought on by the power of mentally constructed obscurations of affliction imputed. States of mind such as holding to true existence, desire, etc., together with their seeds, which do not depend on such investigation but arise naturally, are innate obscurations of affliction to be destroyed by the path of meditation. These
Jabashuala Maduba Rangi Nangi Ani Dematua Tingentela Rawa Tendu Chindela Yonga Jabala Madawa Rangi Nangi Dematua Timbelotera and then the Sanji is Iguari. Sanji is a Toma Mebane Ani Caso Marandola Sanji Toma Mebane Rima Shimski Gundadi ane chupdegi julebi wangi arikbatana la dene ane dema chuwa tachi tu tse dema chuwa la sowa tete kanda kan tina ya lo chiji lo di tachi tu rikbatana la dene tsingende la gunda asi.
And then so this, in the case of this innate obscuration of afflictions, then this is something that is present since beginningless time. That does not that does not require to be generated on the basis of some sort of intellectual investigation. In the case of the previous, then due to some sort of wrong forms of logic and reasoning, then you come into this conclusion of this true existence. So they are regarded as the intellectually acquired through analysis. Then wrong forms of analysis, you come to this conclusion of this true existence. But here of the innate kind, then this is not dependent upon any such logic or reason or analysis, but something that exists innately since beginningless time.
Ane tawanga ta taminga sikala taminga sikala deja kondro ngaja mariba tesum te tamingare.
So generally we have 5 views and 5 non-views. So you such as desire, anger, pride, doubt, maripa, ignorance.
Taminga deja kondro ngaja mariba tesum nimonje.
So these are
that dignani tesum nimonje dela ane tombainbe.
So of these 5 non-views, kind of doubt, deluded doubt, or is an object of abandonment of the path of seeing.
Oh, that tawanga ginani, tawanga jita, tada, loda, tawa chonji, chudum tu chonji, tawanga.
And so the 5 views are the view of the transitory collection, the extreme views, wrong views, as holding perverse views as superior, and holding modes of conduct or custom that is sort of perverted as superior.
통반다 고만이가 차이와지 다시 따민기 나니 태서 마도 왔더라 통반다 고만이가 차이와지 저
태선 녀모첼라
태서 이모텔 통만체 통만코나체 따민 시오텔라 아니 통반다 고만이가 차이와지 다 된다 따왕을 그 나니 직다당 타다니라 통반다 고만이가 요와지
so
아마 따와 숨보텔라 통만코나 이바이만
So, in the case of the first five, non-views, the afflicted doubt is an object of abandonment of the path of seeing, but the other four, meaning desire, anger, pride, and ignorance, they are objects of abandonment of both the path of meditation and path of seeing. And of the five views, then the view of the transitory collection and the extreme views is an object of abandonment of both the path of seeing and path of meditation. 직다다 타달라 공바다 통반이 차이스.
직다다 타다니 오들 통반 고만이가 차이와래.
And shimel hamasunla 통반.
통반이 그랬어.
And the remaining three, which is wrong view and the perverse view, holding wrong views as superior and perverse forms of conduct as superior conduct. Those ones are just abandonment of the path of seeing alone. It's only the extreme view and the view of the transitory collection which is an object of abandonment of both path of seeing and meditation.
제발아 마대바 랑경한게 준비 인생 되자라 소와 사변다 제와네 관람지 좀바 제와 이베 인줄 현재 수시와 차오 스르마
So this innate form of the grasping at true existence is abandoned only on the path of meditation.
That 대체 일단 무엇을 사야지 인생을 잡고 해야 돼 가르래서 rangi 시르도 되배 아니 루데라 된 인루도 돼야 돼 종을 송하려면도 잔디 많이 받기 요하체
Candice rangi 된진
rangi 시르도 돼봐디 루디 니몬 니루 돼야기 아니 대종을 송하래
The reason why it is differentiated, why this presentation is differentiated in this kind of manner is because you have a system of the Swatantrika system that that categorizes grasping at true existence as an obscuration to phenomena.
시집 현재니 고아살라 군단이 순정마실라 유담바 나와라 마대바 타바즈베 로사베나 제와사 나디 중도도 시집라 군나기 제바 제그 말이
So
데다다지 되고 말이
generally speaking, there is no distinction made between innate or imputed obscuration to phenomena, obscuration to omniscience, obscuration to knowledge. There is no differentiation made as something being imputed or innate. Here it says otherwise. Innate obscurations to phenomena have been a mentally constructed obscuration to phenomena, imputed obscuration to phenomena, is a mind together with the seeds of the mind thinking that the appearance of object as truly existent to sense consciousness, apprehending form, and so forth is not a mistaken appearance. When we talk of something being imputed and innate, this perspective of differentiation is made from the subjective consciousness, from the side of the mind.
이제 현재 세가나 좀제 제발라 마되바 토마 메바네 아니 나라도 토마 메바나 샘데단 현재도 아니 좀바데昂휴식이 제대라 현재 로셀로 진짜 텐더를 좀 받더라. 군다 생gen데 아니 가르서나 줍대 제배당 유례비 왕기 아니 태념도 준비 텐딩되라 아니 군다 쓰고 그래. 와. 또 대시고 그래. 다 니나나 아니 좀바데 제제 그 사변다 좀바니가 현재라셔. 현재 제제 그 사변당 현재 니가 아니 가르소래. 자나기도 와. 아니 군다 제제 그 사변다 군다 니가 아니 인도 현재라 자나도 와. 저어디 좀바들 샤고 그래. 이제
Zimbabwe. So when we talk of something being naturally arising, innate, then this is something that is existent as a force since beginningless time, without any kind of influence of analysis and investigation. With regards to the imputed forms of grasping at true existence, then that is the influence gotten from the thesis that one holds on to, or through intellectual analysis and investigation. Then one has come to that particular conclusion of true existence, like that. And so. So here in this system you have whatever generates that innate form of grasping at true existence, the grasping and the seed of that grasping as being as being the innate form of grasping, and likewise, the seed and the imputed form of grasping as being imputed grasping at true existence. But the grasping here usually is applied not to the seed. Not to the seed and the grasping, but mostly to the mind that which grasps. Because here in this particular last part here we are talking about a mentally constructed obstruction to phenomena is the mind together with the seeds. And Ramesh is saying that usually it's primarily the mind, the way it is grasped. It's not the seed and the grasping, but more apprehend. So you have that kind of holding mind that is holding on to, like innately holding on to it, and that mind that holds on to a true existence in a very sort of conclusive way. So what generates this mind is the seed and the mind that is holding or grasping.
말이 바자지 집이 아니 이난 tru비 차대 가진 혼도 야샤 나시 전에 시를 운주와라 샤바마도 아니 시들라 군다다 현진이스 체 아니 군다데라 간데라 사나 군다데라 순징마시라 유담바 나와라 나와라 마주바 타바진비 로사베나 자와 세나 시를 군다라 샤나 다디 시르군다를 자요 말이.
Shaya Maris.
요 말이스. 시집라 시와자니 요마 태년 빌로데서 시와르와.
So here in this last verse of the commentary, this does not really apply to the obscuration to phenomenal obscuration to omniscience or knowledge, because obscuration to phenomena does not have consciousness. Okay, because you have the imprints of the ignorance, which is regarded as obscuration to knowledge, and the seed of this, and as a result of that, you have the dual view, which is the duality. That dual view is the direct manifest form of this obscuration to knowledge. So an example of an imputed form of this obscuration to knowledge would be our seeing of a visual form, that form appearing as, when that form appears, then appearing that it does not truly exist. The Shidru Kunta Dela Sugi Suk Tombe Nikapsu Nawate Dila.
One says a you temper now, now what day? One shilla you temper now. One shilla you temper now what day? Now la Matruate. One said that now la Matruva 10 numbers to Zimbilotella.
So you see, to our sensory perception, there is the appearance of that form. And there is the appearance of that form as truly existent, but what one concludes is that it does not truly exist. So that is in the imputed form of the example of an imputed kind of a shedib.
One say that you temper now la Matrua, now la Matruna. One say that you temper now the true good. Take an temper to go to temper to attend. Kaje Tindu Koramasha, Shewaji, and the day, and Castle, Shewaji, she Tanju, and Shagu Amari.
So
that's again, that's you are the matter.
In the present case, then if our sensory consciousness, as our eyes seeing this form, if this truly existent form, this appearance of truly existent form, then it would have to exist like that, because if you say that if you say that there is a consciousness which is a consciousness of the knowledge obstacle, but in the prasangika system there is no consciousness which is obscuration to knowledge.
인장 가상어마 시원나 신체니 시월 집이 시도 시기에나 아니 다상로자 가바데 땅에 코란요 말이 그만 가상 시원바 니모 재미 아리 여바다 시월 집이 시도 매바다 가기도 전에 가서 가바데 땅사 코란요 말이 시월 집이 시도 샤 시기에나 그러와 인자 시월 집이 시도 샤지 메시 다디 아니 니는 추비 차데 남이
Shiva Shijita Nyumo.
Nyumon Jemmy Mari Kasangama Shuimba, Nyumon Jemmy Mari Yobata, Shivari, City Metanga, Jenny, Tazan Lotavali, Angola Matonga, Kayu Kuchin Chopja Tanga, Chick did it. 이모제 많이 말이 몇시기도 와서 시월 집이 시리 매두고 매시기도 와서 다때 가와래스 이모제 많이 말이 봐요나 말이 봐요고 말이 봐래 시와 연구 그래 대나 시월 집이 시리도 와서 그래 아
이모제 많이 말이 봐
이모제 많이 말이 봐요 바탕 시월 집이 시리 매바탕 가기도
So this is the same as which was discussed some time ago. There are these 18 points by which there's a dispute with Lama Tsongkhapa's presentation about that. And one of these 18 points is this point of that there's a contradiction in saying that there is. When you say that there is no consciousness, that which is an obstruction to knowledge, obscuration, and saying that there is no that there is no non-afflicted ignorance. Yep.
Sure,
an ignorance that which is not afflicted. Saying that this exists and that there is no consciousness which is an obscuration to omniscience. Shivrgibe shidib mebata nyomonche mayimbe maripa yobala gawadus, that there is a contradiction in these two statements, saying that there is no there's no consciousness that which is an obscuration to knowledge, and to say that there is an ignorance which is non-afflicted, that there is a contradiction in this statement.
So
the answer to that is that even if there is an ignorance which is a non-afflicted ignorance, it does not make it necessary that there has to be a consciousness that which is not an obscuration to phenomena. Why is that? Is because even though there is an ignorance which is not non-afflicted, it is not ignorance. It is not ignorance. And so that is the premise for saying that there is no consciousness which is obscuration to knowledge. Sure.
Last sentence, because even though there is an ignorance,
even though there is an ignorance which is non-afflicted, it doesn't make it necessary that there has to be a consciousness that which is an obscuration to knowledge.
Even though there's an ignorance that is non-afflicted, that doesn't mean there is no consciousness that is an obscuration of knowledge. That there is a consciousness.
Yeah, that there is a consciousness which is obscuration to knowledge. That there is a consciousness.
Oh yeah, Tanadi Jazarmuchi Kawa Shenja Gidabajana Che Injirimando Ranju Namju Sena and Kasore Kawa Shangi Yan Chidan Shiva Kasa Shitibla Shiva Jiva Shaware Sumate Kasa 말이고 시집을 시월 좋아요 말스다 디나 신청 순간들이 요인 버디 다디 방루라 된다 장원은 정가지 시월 집 시리 매바 인장 아니 주와 타님들 집에 로사변의 제와디 시리 군단을 샤사요 말이스
So tamad council magae chamal zongba shewuk we shidu the yomaris
제발 주비 시리 매바 인장 디 아니 왕시了所有等把나와라 마도 추와 태벌 좀 받대 나와라 마주와 태벌 좀 받대 아니 시리를 자요 말이스
So in Lama Tsongkhapa's system, since there is no or obscuration to knowledge, that which is consciousness, so this last part of this does not apply in this system, which is a mentally constructed obscuration to phenomena is the mind together with the seeds of the mind, thinking that the appearance of object as truly existent to sense consciousness, apprehending form and so forth, is not a mistaken appearance. Mateya kharre sore. Mateya del tandet shiver give shit med sumba yinzang di tegi mari suye jo.
다 딜로르와 로인장 셰와르와 아니 로인장 셰와 인장 다 셰와 주비 시리 샤고도와
Because here in this case, then it is the mind, and if it is mind, it has to be a consciousness. And in Lam Tsongkha system, then we say that there is
셰와르와 로인장 셰와르다 아니 셰와 주비 시리 샤고도와
if you following this point, then you have to accept that there is an obscuration to knowledge, which is consciousness.
就这个告诉，在那马里边爬下你现在我是就开始就把有啊，马里边爬下你现在我是就开始就把赢了，西就没有兄弟干了。 打杂吧给，在那马里边爬下你现在我是就开始就一啦，谁干了？爬下进来有那么多我说明的。
So, in Chandrakriti, in identifying what is, obscuration to phenomena is predispositions of ignorance, and the appearances of this predisposition of ignorance is what is shidip, the obscuration to phenomena or knowledge or omniscience.
Oh yeah, that's the that is Thomas Lukomang Chaba the Chintawache. Sasa Banja Saber Bonduji Chodon Shabatang said Saber Bondu Chodon Shaba.
So this completes the objects of the abandonment of the path of seeing and meditation now, explaining how the seeds are abandoned.
That Thomas Bondu never Chesula, Belgianas. That Tibachi be Tonam Dunga Chese Pachemelam, Givitina. Said Danang Tonam Dunga Chese said, Shegorida. Tonam Tibachi be Tonam Dunga Chese Sena, Kanti Sigre Sena, teaching Tonam Pachemelam said, Gidu Zamba. 사탐보 토와다 티신 토난 바제 멜라 깨와래 와 바제 멜람데 거래에서나 아니 돈이를 제주도 냠바셰베 냠시 다타주 탐방 군다 그 응원이 지게 되더래
So the way the path of seeing destroys the path of seeing abandonments can be illustrated with an example. So first, we have to know the path of the uninterrupted path of forbearance. So for that, when we first attain the first level, first level, then what is generated is the uninterrupted path of seeing. the uninterrupted path of seeing. And what is this uninterrupted path of seeing? Is the single-pointed equipoise in emptiness, a single-pointed concentration in emptiness.
是吧？我听着有的，当年了这些年把些当年我年拍见没了贴给，安尼看帮这个帮一个帮家贴了，安尼认真贴了，帮家贴了，点把西药的吧，东亚点吧，冠军点吧，国吧，南点药的吧，国点东亚的老把修的，安尼东亚点吧，东亚的老把修啊，东亚个没比。 安尼他就喜欢那些帮着滚的，认真啦，说话对下了，东啊认真当对下了，说话个帮着滚的急，差急。
So,
是吧
so what does this equipoise of single-pointed concentration in emptiness? What does this abandon? Is the grasping at true existence in relation to the Four Noble Truths? Being wrongly engaged in true suffering, in true suffering. So in this category, you have the imputed forms of the grasping at true existence.
我之前，大洋观众了老把修为，安尼帮认真了说帮着滚的急。
And then being wrongly engaged in the second noble truth of true origin, wrongly engaged in the reality of in the truth or in the reality of the true origin, and so you have the imputed grasping in relation to this second noble truth.
但南的老把修为真正。 安尼认真啦，所以跟他接切一个啦，啊帮着的啦，安尼落手个帮着贴完的啦，东亚老把修完的啦，东亚汤帮是过的，观众老把修完的啦，观众汤帮是过的，国把老把修完的啦，国把汤帮是过的，南老小把修完的啦，南汤帮是过的，都是帮着洗钱。
So you have wrongly engaged in the reality of true path, wrongly engaged in the reality of true cessation. So in this way, you have wrongly, this kind of wrongly engaged in the reality of true suffering, true origin, true path, true cessation. So they are referred as imputed. Imputed grasping at true existence in relation to these Four Noble Truths, and so they are regarded as tombang, abandonment of the path of seeing in relation to true suffering, abandonment of the path of seeing in relation to true origin. Like that, you have four. Abandonment of the path of seeing in relation to true path, true end. Abandonment of the path of seeing in relation to true cessation.
那帮着吸毒啊，帮着吸不通帮吸不提给，他就通常拍见买了提，多年了这几年把些通常拍见买了提，他帮着谈不。 东亚老把西边，东亚汤帮提给，我年前比前年，看了东亚确实是蛮大个的，啊，东亚确实，而且没那么挣钱。
So in this way, you have these four abandonments of the path of seeing, of the path of seeing. So when one first generates the uninterrupted path of the path of seeing, then this acts as a direct antidote to that wrong form of engagement with regards to the reality of the truth of suffering. it acts as a direct antidote to that, and so this is known as the as the uninterrupted path of forbearance on the truth of suffering.
Ani dem loba shuwa ki deba ki thomba dunga thomba kunju thomba goba thomba lam thomba shiche khang khoma ni ji ani dunga loba shuwa ki dunga thomba goba thomba lam thomba cheni kara ta je thuksi ware je so ta jing ji dunga loba debi dunga bangja chibi dunga loba shibi dunga thomba kunju thomba goba thomba shiche khang khoma ni la goba kudunga thoma goba thoma lam thoma khang ju kuma jik tu chebi ta ye bangja je ware.
So additional to earlier we were talking about the four abandonments in relation to true suffering, true origin, true cessation, true path. Abandonments because of being wrongly engaged in the reality of these four noble truths. So, so you have these four abandonments in relation to the desired realm, in relation to these four abandonments in relation to the desired realm, and then you have these same four types of abandonments in relation to the two higher realms, form and the formless realms. So totally you end up with these 8 objects of abandonment, 4 of the desire and 4 of the two higher realms, and they are all abandonments of being wrongly engaged in the reality of the truth of suffering, origin, cessation, path.
kola kunjung chese debi goba tombang ngani chebe chane goba chese lam tombang ngani chebe chane lam chese sigwala da chese chiwde wa deba gnyamba chebe chane.
And so when one attains the uninterrupted path, the uninterrupted path of that path of seeing, the uninterrupted path, then this acts as the direct antidote to the sufferings of that desire realm, to the sufferings of that desire realm. And so by that it is known as the path of seeing, uninterrupted path of forbearance of Dharma on the truth of suffering. So when that path of seeing, uninterrupted path, acts as a direct antidote to the to the truth of origin, then to the truth of origin. And to the truth of cessation, to the truth of path, then accordingly they are known as the path of the path of seeing, uninterrupted path of forbearance on the truth of origin, on the truth of cessation, and on the truth of path, like that. So you have. So this is what is this detail again comes about in the later part of the text, but just to give you an idea of what it means as forbearance of Dharma. When we talk about forbearance of Dharma, forbearance on the truth of suffering, what it refers to.
동아 제스 스과 다들 최소 맞아지 강고만 니지 고바 통방 그 언니 집에 차네 가서 군주 통방 엄마 집에 차네 아니 군주 제스 대제라 아니 고바 통방 언니 집에 차네 아니 군주 가서 고바 제스 당 아니 남 통방 언니 집에 차네 고바 그 남제스是初级提出帮这个钱来打，初级，俺有钱一些多别钱，有钱一些多别钱来打这个你要的，是吧
？So, in the case of the the two higher realms, when that path of seeing, uninterrupted path, acts as the direct antidote on that wrongly engaged, with the reality of the truth of suffering. When it, in relation to that, then it is known as the path of seeing, uninterrupted path of subsequent forbearance on the truth of suffering. In the case of the two higher realms, then you have the path of seeing, uninterrupted path of subsequent forbearance on the path of on the truth of origin, and the path of seeing, uninterrupted path of subsequent forbearance on the truth of cessation, and the path of seeing, uninterrupted path of subsequent forbearance on the truth of the path. So that way you can differentiate it as objects to be abandoned, and and from the perspective of the subjective mind.
아니 명제다와를 마도 도비관에 쳐와를 마도 오직래 바자만지.
So all of these eight forbearances, all of these eight forbearances, they are all single-pointed concentration on. They are all an equipoise of a single-pointed concentration in emptiness, and they are all path of seeing's uninterrupted path. They're all that, but it's they have been given these kind of different names from the just nominally,
도비관에 쳐마도 대단 되게 년부 집이 차네 아니 거라 동아 취해서 군중 취해서 맨 따와자 마도 전지 바자만함 지보디.
In reality, they are all, uninterrupted paths. But from the perspective of the specific functions, they you are given these different names.
So,
this is along the Mahayana path.
군중 최소 고바 최소 남체 고바 방자 시각이 대시 통방 감각이 감성지 대시 통방 응원이 받자면라 계사를 고난 받자면라 집어들어와.
So when the path of seeing's uninterrupted path of forbearance on the truth of suffering, truth of origin, truth of cessation, truth of path, when this is generated, it is generated in relation to all of the three realms.
인단다 최소 받자면은 기위 뒤나 뭐지 내자 통방 그 사변데 가신 가신 예와나 기위 뒤나 뭐지 저 통방 그 사변데 가신 통방 받자면은 예와랑 온도 쳐와나 통방 그 사변데 가바랑 온도 쳐와 뒤냠 와.
So, which just read from the commentary, at the moment of the creation of the path of seeing, uninterrupted path of forbearance on the the truth of suffering, the seeds of the path of seeing abandonments, which are the actual phenomena to be attacked, have ceased to exist.
일단 누구 깨와랑 온도 쳐와당 사병 가바랑 온도 쳐와 뒤냠바당 누구 깨와당 사병 가바 뒤냠바 대나신 전이 아니 통람 받자면은 깨와랑 온도 쳐와당 통만 도비 사병 가바랑 온도 쳐와 뒤냠바
So,
통만 받자면은 깨와당 통만 도비 사병 가바 뒤냠바
just like when we destroy a seed, then simultaneous with the destruction of that seed is the potency for the sprouting of the seed is destroyed at the same time. And in the same manner, then, when the path of seeing's uninterrupted path is generated, then, the seizing of the seeds of the abandonments of the path of seeing happens simultaneously. The process of working towards this uninterrupted path and the process of working towards the cessation of those abandonments occur at the same time.
그래서 대인단다 가소래 뒤냠체 다 흥아지 통마섭이 사병 기능자 말 니뭐 맞게 봐도 아니 사병 기능자 파마체도 중화되니 아니 니뭐 파제 매람 또 파제 매람 티 또지 아니 진짜 깨미rum도 청간데 수레에서 다 다른 시원하시 진달 백자네 아니 깨미rum과 체비 깨미rum이 체전도 파제 매람지 치고 아래 신념 보치야 돼 도망 가다 살아야지 다 파제 매람도 여다 요아 말에다 진짜 깨미rum이 체전도 청간데 님뭐 파제 매람지 치고 아래 제발 이나 다른 시원하시래다
So as stated this morning, what acts as an antidote powerful enough so that it never arises again, these abandonments on the path of seeing, when they're abandoned, and abandoned in a manner in which they never arise again. What is it that enables them in such a manner of abandonment is this uninterrupted path. So this uninterrupted and similar type continuation of previous moments is a process by which the power of the uninterrupted path does not allow those abandonments to be generated from that moment onwards.
라제라 대도와 최전의 제바이라서 다년부 발전 매람 되기 아니 깨미rum도 최전의 제비 라제기 타를 아니 사베 깨미rum도 최전의 송의 미지의 최전의 제비 채나 되네 토마토 비사베 대당 토마토바 니가 빵와탕 빵이 과된 토바 과된 토비 제자 과된 토비 남도 과된 토바 제자나 아니 남도 남스가 토바리 빵자 빵비 과된 데라 안 타와지당 아니 빵자 데라 초비 돈이를 뜻이 냠샤 시지 이 남도 남스 이 되냠 토고와리 어 된다이 돈난 남도 저 데라 다 양디 용화 통방 빵비 남도라게 차네 최시 있습니다 그거를
So when the antidote of the uninterrupted paths, when they render those objects of abandonment, to never to arise again, then they become abandonments of the path of seeing, and simultaneous with attaining the cessation, which concords with generating the liberated path, So that freedom or that liberated path is has not is a freedom, is a liberation, is a freedom which consists of being separated from those objects of abandonment. And so this is what is known as chushe, the knowledge, so such a liberated path, and this freedom or this liberated path is known as knowledge of the Dharma on the path of knowledge of the Dharma on the path of seeing. So this again comes later on in the later part of this text. The subsequent achievement brought about by the power of this antidote, which is the first truth of cessation path, endowed with the characteristic of not allowing the creation of abandonments, is known as the path of freedom, and is a path created by the uninterrupted path.
아니 남도람 셰차라 시다르바 된다위 남도람데 다 명데라 토마토에 남도데라 남도람 찍레데 다지 바제 매람 찍라 민게다와 나시체니 방정원이 집에잖아 민게다와 나시 단단 남도람 대지부 데라야 방제 개보 되기 은이 제비 제와라 때네 방제 개가 개방비차네 남도람 데라 다 동아学习 군중 学习 과바 学习 람 学习 동아 学习 군중 学习 과바 学习 람 学习 민희 도무게투다고 하래.
So this initial attainment of the liberated path is one liberated path, but just like the previously explained uninterrupted path, how this has in relation to what it abandons, then it has these names of these 8 forbearances. In the same way, with respect to the attainment of this one liberated path also has these 8 names correlating to what it has become freed of. What it has become freed of, in relation to what it has abandoned, what it has become free of. So then you have the you have 4 Dharma knowledge and 4 subsequent knowledge. So like that, knowledge of the Dharma. So like that, you have 8.
오다 대인자다 최시대 남로남 최시대 동아 최시 다서 남로남대 단제대 수 가르쳐 버려서나 대 남로남대 바제 매람이 개바인도 바제 매람대 방자대기 은예 전에 아니 방자대 방배 남로남대 개 중화 인장 대 바제 매람이 개바인어 스제.
So you have Dharma knowledge of true suffering, Dharma knowledge of origin, Dharma knowledge of a cessation path, like that. Then again, subsequent knowledge of the true suffering, subsequent knowledge of origin, subsequent knowledge of the cessation, subsequent knowledge of the path, like that. You have these 8. So what generates this liberated path is because of the uninterrupted path. directly abandoning the objects of abandonment of the path of seeing, then that is, that as a result of that, what is generated is the liberated path.
다 바제 매람지 뒤나 최수기 뒤함 용아 최수기 뒤함 바제 매람기 뒤나 뭐가지 반자 세가나 안에 통반대다 매싱 스란지를 매싱 아니 란지를 매와 맞아 김미rum이 최전에 김미rum이 최전 인장 마제와데 게 마상위 인지 김미rum이 최전도 제비 소소다고 고단 토비 토디 말에 고단 토반이 소소단고 토반이 말에 봐 게 마상 맞아 말에 마도 김미rum이 최전도 제비 아니 고단 토반이 말에 토요 말에 파자매랑 내가 가서
at the time of having generated this uninterrupted path, where the direct object of abandonment of that path of seeing are the abandonments of the path of seeing. So during this uninterrupted path, you do not have within your continuum. You do not have these objects of abandonment, and you have enabled them so that it will never arise again. So, but it doesn't mean that one has attained the total cessation. It doesn't mean that one has attained, it doesn't mean that one has achieved the cessation of them. All one has done is that neutralize their potency neutralize their ability to arise again. That's all. But not, one has not achieved the complete cessation of this during the time of the uninterrupted path. Its particular share of abandonments is not present, and it possesses the characteristic of not allowing them to develop again. However, this is due to the absence of circumstances. It is not a cessation gathered by analysis. A cessation gathered by analysis.
Oh yeah, these are bananas. I told them Paja Melam could do so. I told them Paja Melam, you walk your panja to give me room. Some young. 김미rum이 최전장이나야 이게 마상 왕기 김미rum이 최전도 마체베 소소다고 마도바 텔라바네 다 사주 군지 탐미체 사주와그 군디 바제 매람기 뒤나야 내내내지 처마 찾아 누자면 매장세 김미rum 말에 누자면 요 말에데 빵바시 그 말에 내가래 매장 빵바시 매자데 뭐니지 락제 잡을 차네 아니 내가 이제 드마대다 김미rum의 체전도 마찬가지야 말해 김미rum의 체전도 소위 남마도 비치로
You can just keep so one can infer from this that during the uninterrupted path of the 10th level end of continuum, there is not even a trace of any kind of defiled instinct, but one should not say that they have been abandoned for good, because from the point of view of being subsequently established by the power of the actual antidote, the path characterized by not allowing further creation has not yet been achieved.
That's right.
Gengi tanda lo nam zol kasa dewa lo nam di ma lo sha.
No, that is tanda de so robchi.
Tanda de sunanda.
Dila bane se yagi tonam bhaje melam gi thina ani panja thomban theda 김미rum bi chechen re ina yang ge ma sa wang gi 김미rum bi chechen du ma cha ba re ma cha ba da so so da ko thoya ma re cha ba 디나신 전이다 디균전 대기 안에 사치 준지 탐에 차인 천나양 가사디기라 이나 추비 트마 요 말에데 이나 추비 트마다 게 마상 왕기 매바자 마도 김미rum이 최전도 송와 말에 최전도 차 말에서 김미rum이 최전도 송와라 최전도 송와라 되니다 대당 방비 과된 토고요 상제 나바든 비주의 시토고를 상제기 얘다 김미rum이 최전도 송이 남마도 위치를
So here what we just read then is saying that when one has the path of seeing uninterrupted path, then its direct object of abandonment has been rendered has been rendered in a manner that it will not arise again, but that manner of not arising again has been made that way due to there not being the circumstances for it to arise again. But it is not totally ceased. There's no total cessation because it is not a cessation gained by analysis. Okay, just like, and then it talks about the uninterrupted path of the 10th level of 10th level end of continuum. Continuum. There is not even a trace of any kind of for Tanta
Ninang Trui Tima do zaman yo mares. Tonam Paji, Indi Paja Melaganakala. Inayang Ninang Trui Tima Teda, Mijibi Chejan Chayo Mares.
Like in the case of the
Mijibi Chejan to Chayo Mares.
When we talk
Bamba Sigmares, Mejang, Bamba Sigmare, Bamba Misiva the Carreras, and Tima Teda, and
Lamike.
Mijibi Chayo Mares.
So when we talk about the 10th level end of continuum, there is not even a trace of any kind of defiled instinct. So there's there isn't even the stain of the defilement of the duality in them. But even though they don't have even the traces of any of these defilements, yet it hasn't been abandoned in a manner in which it is, in which it will never arise again, because that kind of abandonment is only when one becomes a Buddha.
가서래 뭐니기 라체 샤베잖아 김미rum비 최전도 소미 남마도 와래 전함바 군대 바자매랑 그냥 가서 토와되지나 아니 김미rum비 최전도 집에 남대다 김미rum비 최전도 신경게 남대다 김미rum비 최전도 자원이 뒤지를 토고래 대다나 군대 뒤념도 타봐도 군대 뒤념도 연고래 그단 대보 김미rum비 최전도 제바당 김미rum비 최전도 자원이 어디 뒤지라 길이 바자가 내라면 토고래스. 되니 군대 뒤냐 바타 유행하래스.
So some maintain that during the path of seeing uninterrupted path, and there is no actual abandonments present, and yet assert that during the uninterrupted path of the 10th level end of continuum, subtle. And as I made a mistake, it's the previous. One should not say that they have abandoned for good, because from the point of view of being subsequently established by the power of the actual antidote, the path characterized by not allowing further creation has not yet been achieved. If you disagree with this reason, then it would follow that cause and effect would have to be simultaneous.
김미rum이 최전도 제와이나 최전도 송 아니 최전도 송와이나 아니 김미rum도 최전도情感대야 통남 바자매람 니 군대 바자매람 바티 유라 매바대양 아니 군대 바자매라 권이 뒤냐민장 강한 김미를 최전도 제와되다 情感 어디 아니 군대 인고래 뒤지도 쳐봐도 온 거 말에 되니 뒤도 길에 뒤념을 했을 거 말이야.
So what makes the achievement of the abandonment, objects of abandonment on the path of seeing, so that it will never abandon in a manner in which it will never arise again. This is made possible by the path of seeing's uninterrupted path. So, it has to be a cause and effect relationship. First, first you have to generate that path of seeing, uninterrupted path, before one can attain a level of abandon where it will never arise again. So, you cannot put the cause and effect happening at the same time together like that.
Oh yeah, 다야 통랑 발제 매랑 그 뒤나 무슨 내자 된적군다 매박해라. 근데 발제 매랑 그 뒤나 내가래지 참모 여바 더바대. 가지대 등가대 진규지 방화당 년부 진규지 방화당 년부 제외 방자대 가버 주의 주지 방위 투자니워대 초지도 디비견래 생활에 是吧？是吧？研究就帮我当，搞就是个年不的、节约的、这帮着的，搞不就完呢？安尼，同样把这买人给推，同样把这买人进来帮着，安尼同伴的搞不就完？但是呢，安尼年不进的帮着就跟搞不就了印章，年不的就是帮着的效果的话，印章等于年不的，安尼。 초지도 디비 껴레스 와 통나 파제 매랑 그들랑 뭐 신내자 매바 캐라네 다다 군디 파제 매랑 그들라 상인네 참모 여바 되바디 긴규지 봉와다 가주지 봉와기 투다 초지도 디비 껴레스
기규 봉와다
가바주 와서 년보디 끼니 아니 방자데 가바주와이나 아니 년보디 징게 강사주라 방자 요거로 와
And so the controversy here arises because of by generating the antidote of the uninterrupted path, then abandoning it and positing a form of an abandonment because of the seizing of it. Again, the news just so that. Gonesna. So,
통남 바제 매랑 그 뒤나 무슨 내지 매바 캐랑.
So, first, so you're accepting a view where in the path of seeing's uninterrupted path, then there is no direct antidote.
나 뒤에 바람 매람지 뒤나 내내지 정말 여바 되봐.
And then accepting that in the uninterrupted path of the 10th level end of continuum, that there are these there are these traces of defiled instinct.
제외 주주지 방와이나 가버 주주지 방와이나 아니 년보대 랑주라 제네 아니 방자의 가버 주고래 뭐 된다 전이 집과 말에 순거
So you're putting together abandonment in the process of lumping together generating the antidote and abandoning it and the seizing of the whole, the cessation through the cessation, then abandoning it. You're sort of lumping those two processes all together.
아니, 이제 바제 매랑 그 뒤나 내가 내지 주마참모 여봐요나 다 뒤년부터라 가르쳐서나 남자까지 탐보디 대고 그래. 남자까지 탐보디 뒤거지 아니 뭐지 내지도 더바태야 다 빠니 그 출라 메가 와 케어 미가와 임바 시와 차고래 상.
So if one asserts that that at the 10th level, end of continuum, that there is a trace of the kind of default instinct, then you would have to say that the first moment of the attainment of enlightenment still has to act as an antidote.
야야 다다샤죠.
다 탄다 갱기 탄다 타마소야데 다 유테규기 내랭기 내랭 균테베
균다위 규지 내랭이 치마 참모지 연나 다테 본지기 년보다라 남제까지 담보 자고래. 남제까지 담보대.
Yeah, so you would have to say that first moment of the omniscience has to act as an antidote to those traces of default instinct in the 10th level, end of continuum.
남제까지 담보대 내랭이 참모되기 너희도 되바데 다 반영이 출라 미가바래 산자가사나 된 반장님보요 말해 뭐진님보 매와 인자 반영이 출라 미가바 시와 차라 송아.
So if you assert that at the first moment of attaining enlightenment, that first moment of attaining enlightenment has to do some work of abandoning something, then you are someone who does not know, or on the grounds what needs to be abandoned. You don't know how. You don't have the knowledge of that, or something like that. Make you unskilled in what is to be abandoned. So questions? Yeah.
I'd like to understand, if I can, why you refer to this Uttaratantra.
Yeah. Tango.
The cessation that is not a non-analytic cessation, because I thought earlier you said that all of these paths we're talking about are meditations of emptiness,
Yeah.
which are from analysis. So what does this mean? It's some non-analytical cessation.
Tango sejo.
소스 당고.
The careers was ngarishe베다 가서 제반에 중앙 갸르와스.
소소 당고스나 단대디 가르레스나 님부 되기 똑지 방자 대단 차위 차와대다 님부 파제 매람지 똑지 다디라서 님부 파제 매람 되기 똑지 아니 방자대 김미릉도 체네 김미릉도 체전도 체와 대다나 다 방자 대단 자완네 미지위 체전도 체위 방자 차위 차와지 토와를 차와대라 아니 가서 우리 소소 따고 고대리 저거 된다 고대리고
This term susutango is actually cessation. Susutango, the term susutango is it is a cessation, and it is a cessation because the antidote of the uninterrupted path. The antidote of the uninterrupted path, when it abandons its object of abandonment to the degree that it will never arise again, completely separating, completely removing the objects of abandonment in a way it will not arise. It will not arise again. Is
뭐가지 방자 매진 김미루위 최전이양 깨마장 인기 사계미주 최전도 제기 깨마장 인장 뒤뒤서고 다 소소다고 토바야 말이
so
소소다고 되 김미루위 최전도 제와이나 다 소소다고 토바 고단 토바
so that's why in the commentary where it says due to the time of the uninterrupted path, its particular share of abandonments is not present and it possesses the characteristic of not allowing them to develop again. However, this is due to the absence of circumstances. It is not a cessation gained by analysis. Means a cessation gained by analysis has to be true cessation.
That's why.
It is.
Like it's just a reference to a true cessation.
So, Soso Tango, the cessation gained by analysis is a cessation gained by the uninterrupted path. Because, yeah.
Which would be the path of liberation then?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not yet. It's not yet this complete cessation.
So, because in this case, when we are talking about here the uninterrupted path, it is a Soso Tango when those abandonments will never arise again. And here you're saying it is not Soso Tango because because the abandonment here is just an absence of there not being the circumstances for it to generate. It becomes a Soso Tango, complete cessation, when it has when it is abandoned in a manner in which it will never arise again. But here, why is it not a Soso Tango? Why it is not a cessation gained by analysis? Because you've only it's not arising because you don't have the circumstances for it to arise. Which means if you have the circumstances, then it will arise.
Is Soso Tango then the same as number one?
Soso Tango da namdru lan chikwa dwasa.
아니 가가리 남도 남으시나 남으셔 소소 따고 채서나 고대 권인이 방자들라 초와 직바 인발라 직남당 직방자들은 차유 고대.
So the Soso Tango, the cessation gained by analysis, and liberated path are not the same thing. One is a cessation, abandonment. The other is a path.
그래서 요아리 개종수니 제매람 죄우뒤제 뒤마체스 남 저거나라 개종수세데 바제매람을 쓰거리 바제매람 되기 또지 방자테 아니 좀미 미지위 체제도 제대라 죄우들라 가르래서나 뒤제지다 뒤마체니 요아리스 뒤제의 가르래서는 남로 남들이스 뒤마체의 가르래서는 소소다고 고단데 모두 쓰거리.
So in Treasury of Knowledge, within that there is a reference to in the one training in virtue, meaning training in generating the uninterrupted path. Then what this does is destroy the objects of abandonment. And as a result of destroying the objects of abandonment, the result two kinds: one that is compounded and one that which is uncompounded. Uncompounded is cessation. That which is compounded is the liberated path. But the abandoned cessation and liberated path are attained at the same time. So this this previously generated uninterrupted path, this the continuum of this is transformed into the liberated path, and the Dharma Dhatu, the reality of the mind, which is completely freed, which is the freed of the defilements or the objects of abandonment. This becomes the cessation.
Do the 8 uninterrupted paths and the 8 liberated paths of the path of seeing, do these all happen in one meditative session?
Pachamelam ge the namjun get yora. Dige tolong gi nekos. Dige kanda nyamsha tun chik tu duya indire kandre.
Nyamsha tunjire sebada shewa niga nyamsha tunjire.
They are all in one meditational equipoise.
Nyamsha di ngane nyambo chede pache melande pangja de nyambo chede ani nyamsha di ngane pangja de jemiru chejan de chewa dang ani namdo la go ngoto ani soso dang go to gare.
So while in that one single session of that equipoise, as the uninterrupted paths are generated within the mind and render the abandonments totally destroyed so that they will never arise again, then that uninterrupted path becomes the liberated path. And one attains the cessation or the cessation gained by analysis. Go ahead.
I was wondering about at the 10th, the uninterrupted path of the 10th level of the end of the continuum. There's not a trace of any kind of defiled instinct, yet the qualities of that, we were talking before last week, that was like compared to a puddle,
and the ocean.
Buddhahood, the result, is compared to the ocean. So is that like kind of the culmination of all those uninterrupted paths, all those paths of liberation?
Tanda salchuve duntabe pachamalam jarwa. And ding on that kasre nelembe di
Nantui.
Ninantube ki mess or
Nantui chames.
some mess. Then Kasa Hanzu Sundugala Pena Dida, that Sangegi Ishich Kembe Ishishwa, Dini Kevaja Dugala, Chik Gasuta, Chik Kasure, Hanzu Kanji Nali Yobe Chuchara.
Loy dobla sha
Logi top.
loy top. Loy top. Loy top. Saje ke sheja chinye ba tamje. sheja chinye ba tamje. 아니 지다와 지다라냐 뭐 샤입시비가나 또 투가르와 또 투가르와.
That kind of example is to illustrate the power of the difference in the power of the mind. That example is to illustrate the difference in the power of that mind, of a Buddha mind and that mind which has yet to achieve enlightenment. Power of the mind, not in reference to what obscuration is abandoned or not.
인자한 뒤에 가서 인한 추가 요 말에 대해 시자 시와라 파드죠. 요 말에 대해 임 치게 미롱 체전도 제와 인장 군주 시비 내가보다 된담 시투고야 말이. 군주 시비 남자 되기 된담 시투고야 말이.
Because even though there is no even though in the case of the 10th level end of continuum uninterrupted path, even though in that continuum there is no not even the subtle dual view, even though even though that is not there, but it still is not able to see conventional ultimate realities at the same time.
Yeah.
Continuing Carl's question, if all 8 paths of seeing uninterrupted paths and liberation paths happen in one session, then unless one gets up really quickly, one will automatically go to path of meditation in that same session.
We would the
saying it all happens in one session.
all the all the uninterrupted paths and liberated paths of the path of seeing.
But once you get to the last path of liberation, aren't you done with the path of seeing?
이제 어제 그 뭐시에서 가네.
This gore ta nyamsha tunchip ngala ta pachemelum ge da namrulam ge de topora namrulam ge botene thama de toptu kala ta gomlam ya gomlam la ya potu to kandis
보고 말했어. 남로람 제 요와라. 남로람 제세가 됐다. 뒤티jen라 시디가나 다 미니 제 따와 차임바. 시스타 저바. 남로람 제바데 소리가나 뒤 남제세 제시세들이 남제시 톱디가나 냠샤세. 다 남샤 대네 제도라 당그래. 제도라 담. 그냥 공방봉이 치도 소놈 그 소자체 붙여.
After you attain in that one meditative session, after you attain the last of the 8 liberated path, then you arise from that equipoise, and in the post-meditation period, engage in the activities accumulating the 2 types of merits to accomplish the path of meditation. Yeah.
안 제도도 방자 다 통방 방차라는데 공방 침비침보 방향 제도 안에서는 그 소사야.
You have to accumulate you have abandoned all the objects of abandonment of the path of seeing, and after you arise from that equipoise, then you engage in the accumulation of merit to abandon the objects of abandonment of the path of meditation. And then again you re-engage back into the single-pointed equipoise in emptiness.
공배남지 뒤와야 뭐 시와 차오 사탐보 권한라 까가 투미 아니 윤지 조고 아래 인자 사탐보로 권한 뒤와 요아래 순과래 사탐이 깨지 탐마제라 되는 권함 지고 아래.
So and then as for the first bhumi, then there is again a view of whether there is the path of meditation on the first bhumi or not, but accumulating the merit of the first bhumi, the first level, is a process of accumulation of merit of many eons also. So there is a view that in the last part of the first bhumi does have the path of meditation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arising from the uninterrupted path and engaging in the practices of the bodhisattvas, this is based on the prayers of aspiration made even as an ordinary being in developing devotion to the Mahayana Dharma. Is that even back in the beginning? Is that?
Ta dinyam shak dinelani and jeto to sonam sayagi gewala tsumba dinzu tambu shula mebe teba dinzu ne chungwe gengi en inde yungo rasa.
다 tambu maniya jitiwa chibichela meni darin ba shil chungwa.
Yeah, it's like that from all of those graduated series of the practices. It comes from the initial phase of being devoted to the Mahayana Dharma, and you have that devotion to the Dharma aspiration even at this present phase.
Yeah.
Tanda tsuba chupche jora tanda jirumbu chila tsuba tatsang lo tsawa rasa. Yes, tatsang lo tsawa.
Tatsang lo tsawa. Jela ani 제르모지 로마체 Initially,
he presented these 18 points of contradictions, but later Dasan Sowa became a disciple of Lama Tsongkhapa and composed many praises in praise of Lama Tsongkhapa. Okay. And one was distributed at the color chakra.
Yeah.
At the very last moment in the continuum of the 10th level bodhisattva, does that mental body cease to exist?
Mental body. Then the Sajube Duntave Yiluchara. Yilu de Gaduresa.
Yilu Gaguris, the Maripaja Saleva, Dainza Casore. You
have to seize that mental body, and from the perspective of the Tantra, then comes the accomplishing the illusory body point comes from here. Because the mental body is a product of the imprints of ignorance, grounds of the imprints of ignorance, and non-afflicted types of karma, and so this cannot progress to enlightenment. Therefore, in the context of the Tantra comes the question of illusory body. This is how it is in reality, but in the Paramitayana vehicle, there is no viewpoint of accepting an illusory body.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Sanje Shindu Midi Buwaye, Drogun Namda Shinla Jeba, Yidang Guru Rana Mendra Lagani Yadaya, Michanju Simjo Rimboje, Maji Banaji, Jewa Nyamba Mebaya Kone Kondu Beba Sho, Kari Rave Guvi Shingandi, Pendan Deva Malij, Jeres Wan Denzin Jazu Ye Shebe Sidi Badu Tenju Ji Juzin Lama Gujera Denje Nanga Dele Jojo Lozan Dembe Dreme Sasumji Droye Mise Dadu Ne Juchi Chembe Baye Cheda Chembada Kundo Sambo De Yete Da Kunji Cheso Dalo Je Gewandi Da Tamje Rabdu O Jisun Shibe Jawa Tamje Jengo Wakan La Dagi Gewe Zawa Dugun Jansan Boji